The vote was unanimous. The East Bay is now in an official state of drought, and that means mandatory water rationing that will affect everyone. East Bay Mud wants to cut some of the 215 million gallons a day its customers use by 15%. But it's not asking everyone to conserve evenly. Some groups are being affected more than others, and the group that's being hit the hardest are single-family homes.
The 7th driest year on record.
And it came as a total surprise.
We got all that rain, super rain in January, record rain in February, and people were ready to call it a great year. Yeah. Then there was no water at all in March, no water at all in April, and virtually nothing since then, and we're dry.
East Bay Mud ranks droughts based on how much water's in storage. In an average year, they have about 750,000 acre-feet. By next year, they're projecting only 415, which qualifies as a severe drought. So the board voted unanimously for mandatory water rationing. Single-family homes would have to conserve a whopping 19% over what they normally use. Apartment dwellers would have to conserve 11%. And anyone watering a lawn or garden will have to cut back by 30%. Businesses have to cut back too, but not as much as homes. If you conserve like you're supposed to, you'll get a discount on your water rate. But if you conserve less than half of what's required, you'll have to pay a fine. It's based on what you normally use, and that has some homeowners furious.
A mandatory 19% across-the-board reduction for all residential customers would screw those of us who have consistently conserved over the years.
You are penalizing people like us who've been conserving all along and rewarding the water hogs.
The staff says it's the only way to account for things like large families.
In our estimation, that's really the only fair way to do it, is to base it on the previous household's usage.
But some board members suggest giving a break to people who already use below a certain minimum amount.
I will find ways, if it's tying my son's hands, to cut back the 19%. But those people who are extraordinarily conserving really need to be off the hook.
The board's also considering an across-the-board 10% rate hike in addition to the fines for not conserving. But they won't vote on that until after a public hearing in July. For now, it's the water rationing as well as restrictions prohibiting things like watering your lawn 2 days in a row or washing your car without a nozzle that automatically cuts off. And if you live in the East Bay, you may want to get used to those because they could be in effect for a year or more. In Oakland, Jonathan Bloom, KRON 4 News.